All right. So now that we are done with the scoping and sizing, right? We now know that, okay, we have this sourcing plan template is applied. We don't have right risk because this is something which not we are not going to be doing on fixed fee. So let's not handle with it. But risk will, just to show you up, this will also add on some of these buffer hours right here. So you'll see that the hours have been changed. So it will keep on, right? It will do edit the hours for, but this is the calculate average cost that you are seeing here, right? You can also keep on refreshing this section and noticing is there any change to come up with the final average cost. Add from spreadsheet is a popular feature. So if you are working in a particular format, if you are working and then just copying paste here in the same format, it will keep adding you the spreadsheet. We do have some more greatest of accelerators, which will all help you to run it. But if you are still an Excel friendly, you're talking to a customer and just noting all your thing in Excel, you still have, and you have to migrate that, you can still have that feature, copy and paste, and then do it. We spoke about this total efforts are needed already in the previous recording, and then how you can communicate with your SMEs, and see that if I'm clicking on this link, and this is basically loading me on the same lane while selecting the scope that on which I need some help from the SME. Uh, Now, and I said this is just a framework, right? So you can extend this section to whatever the unique requirements that you taking the help of your own developers, right, and team, and keep on extending it for your own needs, right? This is framework, generic framework, which is a bid minimum need of um of a of a quoting for professional services solution. Okay, I'll come on this summary later, but we have this section basically where you can actually identify, okay, who did what, right? Sometimes we accidentally change the things we don't. So based on all the trackings that we have, we can have this. And this is right now we just worked on the scope section, so it is showing up the scope, but this will show up for the we don't come here, then that will come on the late. Now it's time to actually build the timeline. I'm not going on the timeline library here. As I said, this is barely minimum unless you have a stable thing, stable. Let's say you have been keep on doing, let's say, estimation services, or maybe Copado, right? Copado administration or Copado setup, right? So if you have that is scope mostly, right? Unless Copado introduce new features for the whole year, it's gonna be mostly same, and the timeline library is also gonna be same, right? In that case, you can go, okay, I'm supporting this partner. The setup usually take 100 hours. These are the resources. You can actually have a library for that. uh, Right? But for the ever-changing needs and customer, you can't. I mean, you can't have that. I mean, idealistically, you are generating your timeline from the scratch. That's the experience that we have in the profession. So what we are doing is we are generating the timeline library here. Let's say this is Salesforce General, right? And I'll take it weekly. It supports weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly. Uh, but we are gonna be generating using it. Taking the first Monday, that's the need. So let's say this project is gonna be starting from January 1st, 2020. Um, I I'm for now I'm assuming this would take around, so for instance, let's say these hours of projects would take 5 weeks to go. And then as I said, this is not looks like a fixed fee, so I'm gonna be using the time and material. And based on this will basically, yeah, I'm just for now, there's something cache. Whenever you do it first time, it actually causes that error, but usually it doesn't. I mean, once it is loaded, you'll be fine. Okay, now once we are here, you'll start seeing up a view where you can define your resources, timeline. So I'll talk about everything one by one, but for now, let's say that we have one project manager. So how would we? I think they, in the video you would have noticed that, okay, how we can actually notice that what is the needs that we have based on the plan that we have generated. So you have the clear roles defined here, right? So you can have like project manager, business analyst, and all these roles. As per my staffing rules, these are coming from United States or maybe some other onshore location. We have technical architect. So it is also from United States of America. We have developer, it's like India, QA tester, India. We have release manager, India, and then technical lead, India. So what we are gonna be doing is we are just gonna be arranging it so that it maps in my mind. But usually, I mean, you can have much more other features, but let's go ahead. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 3, 4. So we have done it, right? So let's just assume, okay, they all are 100% assigned, right? So quickly, I'm gonna be 100%. It is taking all these numbers from the org wide default that we have set up, and it is a 5. So I'm just taking like, okay, to define. Sorry, excuse me. Develop, test, and deploy. We can color code them. That's another feature that you could use through the settings. But now let's see. Okay, so we are much higher here, right? So it looks like for the business analyst, we just need uh, whatever we have given. We just need not that full 100%, so 80%, and I'll keep on validating this. Okay, 160, or maybe I'm not going higher, so just 75%, and let's see. 150. Okay, looks like good. It's unless it is going red. We are having project manager, which is again 75% of project manager. Tech arc is really low, so I'll take 20% first. Oh, sorry, 75%, 20%, and then just I'll refresh it. All right, so what I have is nothing is going red. This is where it's basically tech arc has gone red. So I'll take like 30%, not 20%, right? And similarly, all other rules, right? So let's assume that rest of them are 50-50%. Okay, so we're quite near. We are under loading developer. So I'll just update the developer not to 50%, rather to 80%. And we just wanted to make sure that we are not overestimating and I mean, at least absolutely underestimate is not accepted, but this is overestimate. So we are done. Let's say this looks like good. What the next step I'll do, I'll just quickly do the travel and expense. Is there anything? So just to showcase that how we could do it. This is like, okay, I need tech arc needs to go for the defined phase, and this is gonna be travel expense cost, and then probably during the deploy, release manager would be there in on site, and that person needs to really have like much more because this is gonna be flying from India. um that's a need. If there is any other, so we are gonna be having like GitLab license or any other license cost. So that cost falls under to us, especially for the developer phase. So we are gonna be having like $50 into them. Everything bumps up here. You will notice that everything is get showing up on your screen on the top. So you'll all note it here, right? So if you have two multiple screen playing around, the there's one cool thing that, okay, now while you are reviewing it, right, you wanted to know, okay, including the define and design, how much hours right now, what is the cost that it would mean, right? If you see on the lower hand side, it it mostly a mimic feature of what we get in the Excels or spreadsheets. But this additional thing is that, okay, this is gonna be my cost. I'm okay to, I mean, is this the right cost? Maybe if I wanted to know, okay, for the technical architect and business analyst, is this something that I could manage? What is the cost that is going, right? So you'll notice that it tells you the total sum of hours, how many fields, I mean, what are the selection that you have, average, but these are like mimic, say, Excel features. Okay, I mean, have you judged the things? But this is the core, right? How much cost this will have, right? Should I need to, I mean, is this the right time then when business analysts getting involved? Because it is so whenever there's a question on the cost from the customer, these are some of the helping areas or helping features that could help us to actually identify where we could reduce the thing. All right, and then the next step is generating a cool project plan. So let's say this is very small project. So let's say I am just R1. This is one release only. So I'll pick the I'll merge it and I'll pick the color. We are gonna be having like one. So our sprint is gonna be there's one sprint, right? We are gonna be following this. So the sprint is gonna be running for the whole thing. I mean, this is not an idealistic scenario. I mean, just wanted to show up your features, right? So sprints, any kind of checkpoints that we wanted to do, right? Any kind of uh, uh, basically milestones that we wanted to add on, right? Or kind of so milestone could be like revenue milestones, right? Or maybe billing milestones. So we can have that presentable here in the form of same. So let's say revenue milestones, billing milestone. I'm gonna be having like two billing cycles. So first billing, then I have like final billing, right? And I can color code it just for the you for the for my own look and feel in my mind. Revenue milestone, let's say, right, recognize the revenue, maybe early recognizing the revenue, something like that. Or we can, I mean, this could be any at any number of records, and I'll tell you what is the benefit of it. But yeah, let's say there's one more feature I wanted to, I mean, I got to know that this is not gonna be just one. We are gonna be having another two development phase, right? Now that we know that this is going to be a development phase, and definitely scope was changed, right? So just assume that the scope has changed and all these hours have changed in the scope and the needs, and that's why I identify that, okay, we need more developers and this is going to be a 2 week of development phase. So what I could do is I could actually do this here, put it here, right? And then when I know a project plan, I can go and, okay, now this is going to be released. My sprint this time is gonna be starting from basically in the develop phase and this, right? And then all these final billing, deploy, I know it's gonna be final billing, design, it's continue the same. Maybe recognizing the revenue, I'll be recognizing it a little early because this is now more risk. So revenue, right? So but you can on the fly keep on changing the things, and you keep on adding the things, right? Now, Uh, so there's one level of discount you could do at the line items, right? Based on the feature that you have defined in the setting. Another level of discount that you could do, right? This tells you that, okay, this ASM is not correct. What's the deal here? Maybe we are having resources on the lesser price, right? So PM Tech Arc business. Oh, Tech Arc is really low. I mean, this customer has an appetite to pay more, right? So I think we should, I mean, we shouldn't be selling it to a lower price. And all this thing, right, happens. So you keep on nudging, validating everything here, and you can also apply a discount percentage. So let's say 10% discount. And there's another existing feature, like with the amount as well. Now, let's remove the discount for now, and and just move on to the next feature. Now, if now there's always right for the reporting and all, everyone wants to tag their timeline, right? Let's say for this timeline, and I as a unique requirement for my organization, I need more. So likewise in the scope, you can extend it. So you can also extend it in the timelines, right? If you have two timelines or whatever it is, you can just add new field of your organization. It's a custom field and put that on the layout and it will start showing up here. So I wanted to take this. Okay, this is related to product, the Salesforce implementation. This is related to revenue recognition model is gonna be manual for this timeline, right? And then any version node, any new fields that you wanted to add as custom and just put it on the layout and it will show. So this is how you can extend it out, especially more very, very important feature that you can use for the reporting later on. Now, another cool features. Okay, now that I've done it, I want to get it reviewed by someone, right? Similarly, I can quickly go and just paste this and say, okay, um, hey user, can you help me review this? Something like that. And then the user will get an email and the user will click on this email and it will load that user to here. Uh, Somehow this is basically for now today, it's like some cache issuing is happening and which is also will be working on it, but usually this isn't come, right? And it will load it here. But let me just quickly again check how it happens. It is either it is quite quick or it is basically causing. Okay, so now that we are done with this, it's reviewed, right? And we are all uh, the solution engineer or the delivery will they'll go the all the approval process and all, right? Okay, now things are done, right? So okay, my request is done, everything, and I change the status to quote approved. Remember the setting that we have, it has updated all the things, so which is like reporting you can use with with the additional solution that we have for the agile manager and the inbuilt I mean which is included here is the project management center, right? You can actually go ahead and start maybe creating the project for your project team. So what it offers is basically what you need to do is, okay, this is the customer. I got it approved and this is completed. SOW is done. So okay, by the way, so let us go to the some of the features here before we go that. So we have now, if you see the code history, so it will start showing up for the timelines as well, right? So if you have made anything and it is being tracked, it will start showing up here. So you can quickly go ahead and see that who changed what. Now remember we spoke about during the like PSC admin setup, we spoke that about the document templates, right? Basically a inbuilt document generation tool. And yeah, just give it some time to load. I don't know because of the internet and what it is basically to retain some time. Okay. Now that we are done with this, we wanted to generate the SOW, and I think that for the USD, we don't have an SOW, so I'll quickly change it and change this to. So for the sake of this demo, I'm gonna be changing it to USD, and I'll be also changing some of the settings here to so travel expense fees. right? So these are the settings. Someone, I mean, this is the first time thing. All these things we are gonna be helping you for setting up this. But if you have anyone in your team who understand the SQL queries and then some of the styling and thing, they can also do it. Uh, okay, so let's just quickly save it, and then there's another one where I need to change from Australian dollar to US dollar. Okay. All right. So now when I go to this document, this section, I'll just quickly refresh it. Go to generate statement of work, and then it has shown up here, right? So W template. It says AUD, which I haven't changed later, but you'll see this is all have automatically populated, right? Now, what there are two versions that you can actually download in your computer. One is the doc, which is basically GDoc version that you can upload into your Google Doc and uh, showing up. So in my system, if you see what is being downloaded, so let's see what's there. All right. So you see that this is all the scopes that is covered, the roles and responsibilities of the roles, and then the overall role rate, hours, pricing, all are dynamically cloned, I mean, merged from the system, and it has show up, right? I can make those changes while it's on the Excel. I can upload it on the Google Doc and make the changes there. And there is another version. If you think you wanted to make not there, you wanted to make the changes here, right? So just change that. Okay, my contact customer account name is, let's say, Apex Hours, or maybe Inc. Mm, project name is General Implementation. My I mean SOW on which I'm generating it is, let's say, 12 1999, and I mean all these things you can update natively. You wanted to add something, okay, let's say with assumption. Now there is a caveat with the table that is generated. It I mean accidentally, if you click delete, it will actually delete everything. So just only replace the thing like this. So this is like limitation with the right now, but you can do it. I mean, in that case, if you have lot many changes to do, right, you can download it and do it on your Excel or GDoc. Uh, and it's all dependent on template. So you don't need an additional Conga license, right? And you can also at the same time download it as a PDF, and PDF is downloaded as a, right? It's all the defined thing that you have. So how quickly you started your job and you ended up creating a SOW. That is the benefit of QuoteX here, right? Um, I think once we are done here, it's all everything is showing up here. You can also have, like, this is another feature that we have. I mean, not feature. This is another package, another solution. You can actually, to improve your worker experience, you can have this survey generated for your employees or solution engineers and have them fill this survey, right? Like this. So we'll come on this later on, but yeah. Uh, Now that we are done, the final thing is that we can create the project. SOW is signed. So I'll change that it is completed. Uh, okay, and anything like all the approval process, and I'll just assume that I'm going to the opportunity and it says that okay, so my opportunity is one, and I change the number to, this is 106178. So maybe I could add a product with that number, or I can just quickly go 106108, let's say, and I change this to close one. All right, now that I have closed on it, I'll go back to my primary pre-sales code required, and I would actually create a project. All right, so this is like additional feature we have, and then we can also generate the staffing request. So what it'll do, it will actually have a format, I mean, a whole format of a project record created for you in your organization, right? From here, you are handing it over from the sales team to the project team, and just use the chatter to communicate that, okay, this is the project that we have derived from here. But the one of the greatest part here is that you can let's say that if it is if the opportunity at the same time 70 or 80% and you know that we are going to be closing it at the commit state, you can click and create the project for your project team, and then this resourcing plan will get triggered for your WMG, and they'll start planning the resources in advance before the plan phase or the design phase gets start. And you can you will also notice that this is like we have two one project, and there is another package called Agile Manager, which is linked here, which is the extension for the project management, work management. So when I click on excuse me, so when I go there, right, so you'll see that, okay, so now because this project I'm in, right, so we could actually start our stories planning directly here, right? So we can start our story planning. Okay, we'll do first chatter, we'll do multi, I mean I and BA or maybe a TA, we are all working. I know that who is going to be business owner, because at this time I might be knowing, or the requirement owner, right, which is sprint it will fall into. So we will also adding the, I guess, it will be first of all, I mean, as a project manager, I'll be adding this sprint releases, right? And then I can start my stories planning. And then later on with this stories planning, you can have basically the stories worked on it. And I mean, this like end to end. It would need more work, like probably if we work to, I mean, with the customers who are into the problem, we can have it more automated and very well done. But you have all the formats ready for the story, so you can get started your project. You can do everything that you want, right? You can have your dashboards, and you can complete your work here. And then finally, you can, using the survey, you can do the CSET survey to your customer, and you're done. So that's how the whole, I mean, these three combined tool gives you the overall experience of everything that you do, almost the thing you do. Definitely not the finance aspects, but rest of all. So I think at a very high level, this is how it looks. I'm just gonna be stopping the recording here.